Welcome to another GibbsCAM video. Today we're going to show you how to program a 5-axis part. This will be positioning only. There will be two videos. The first one is going to show you how to bring in a solid model and heal it up as like if it was a casting. And then the second video we will show you how to machine it. So you can see I already have my part, started a new part, called it 5-axis positioning. And then next we want to make sure we're in the right machine. So I'm going to go to my document control, make sure we're on the 5-axis vertical mill. Now here you want to go to the machine setup, and here you want to tell Gibbs where the 4th and 5th axis is. Now normally almost every machine in the world follows the same rules. 4th axis is usually rotated about Z, and the 5th axis is usually rotated around Y. Some 5th axis, if you have a trunnion style, will probably be rotated around the X. That would be an A axis. Y would be a B axis. So you can look at the picture to see how it looks on your machine along with the X, Y, and Z. Now normally this is where the center of rotation is, so normally I always put those at 0. Same with the 4th. Now if you're finding that it rotates the opposite direction, you can click this and you can see the rotation is opposite. Same with the 4th axis. Okay, so you can decide that. You usually have to post the code and look at the rotation on your machine and post to see if it's correct. You can also limit the axis movement if you just want to stay in one direction. Like on an A-axis type, you may want to limit the rotation so you're not cutting on the back side of the A-axis where you can't see it. But here I'm working on a B-axis type, so I have basically 180 both directions. Or you can unclick this and say it's not limited. Okay, we'll just leave it right there for now. These numbers here I'm just going to leave alone for right now. Cat 40 we're going to use, and everything looks pretty good there so far. So next I'm going to import the file. So just go to File and Import. And I'm going to go to my drop-down menu, and you can see we have lots of different types of import capabilities. I have a lot of SOLIDWORKS files, but this one in particular has to be a Parasolid. Doesn't have to be, but this is what I chose to use. So this is very popular as well. So I have Valve Complete, so I'm going to open that up. It's going to import that into our working space, and Gibbs will automatically do a shrink wrap when you import a file, so you can see it wrap geometry around there, and these will be filled out now according to the part. I will modify these somewhat as we go along. Now I already have the origin where I want it right now, but in case you brought your solid model in and it wasn't oriented how you like it, you can always turn on face selection, click on a face, right click and say align that face to the coordinate system. As you can see, it did just that. Or if I wanted this, for instance, aligned, I could do that. And you can see it aligns it up to my standard XYZ coordinate system. Okay, I'm going to back out of that, because mine's already oriented where you want. Now, of course, you can translate this wherever you want, move your part origin. But before you start pulling geometry off, making toolpath, make sure you have the origin where you want it. In this case, I have my origin right at the top of that surface there. So when I finish this part, that is going to be Z0. So the next thing we want to do is I don't want to heal up the original part, because if I need to go back and pull something off and it's already healed up, then I won't know where the holes are, etc. So I'm going to double click this, put it in the body bag, and if you want, you can right click and say, go to the properties and say this is the main solid if you want. And this is a part. So I'm just going to click apply. All right, now with this in the body bag, I'm just going to do a Control D, which is the same as modify and duplicate. And there's my part out on the screen now. This is the one we're going to modify. I'm going to turn off the show stock and origin. And I'm going to start probably with the top surface. Now inside here is the casting, so we're really not going to heal that up. We really don't need to. And depending on how you heal things up, you need to kind of think of how the engineer drew the part, and you need to reverse that. Sometimes you don't need to, but if you go in the reverse direction that you figure it was drawn, healing up will be much easier to do. So let's start with these holes first. I'm just going to try this first hole first. So face selection on, select the hole, go to your solid modeling, and select this palette here. Hover over here. It says unstitch solid. I'm going to click on that. I don't want to create a plug, although this is very nice if you're going to have an EDM sinker and you need to create a plug. That works well, but we don't need that. So I'm going to leave everything else checked here, and I'm going to click on do it. And as you can see, it healed up that hole nicely. So a lot of times if I have a number of holes to do or features, I'll just try one to make sure it works okay first before I do the others, but that looked like it worked okay. So I'm going to do all three. Now that's healed up. Now we want to, this is going to be a casting, of course, so there isn't going to be this machined in here already. It's going to be a casting, so this is all going to be covered up by probably cast iron. So I'm going to do this chamfer next. That healed up nicely. I'm going to select here and here and here, and I believe this will fail, as you can see, because notice there's a little taper right here. Because since this is a casting, it has to have taper to come out of the mold. So I'm going to click on that. And I don't believe it goes past there. Whoops. So let's do that again. Okay. Heal up that, and that goes to a sliver there. And let's cover this back up. And let's go to here and here. And I think that will work good. Let's click on do it. And as you can see, that healed up nicely. Now let's do the other side as well. Don't want that surface, that one right there. Okay, as you can see, that's healed up pretty good all the way around. Now I think we can heal this the rest of the way. So let's click on here. Usually with holes and features, start from the bottom up. So let's start there and there and there. Okay, we have something else that we need to fix. So let's look and see what we might have missed. So when looking at this part, I can see probably, let's make this part a little more sharper. So I'm just going to go to its properties and change this to 1,000. That'll make it a little easier to see. All right. Now I can see, looks like I have a chamfer here that I missed. I probably should have got that right at the beginning, but I didn't. So let's heal those. All right, those healed up nicely. Now let's see if we can heal up the whole thing. No, I must have something else there. Let's look around. All right, we don't need the top surface, so we kind of did it in the reverse that the engineer drew the part. So that looks pretty good right there. Now let's go to the other sections here. While we're at it, we might as well do these holes. You don't have to go to any different coordinate system to do this, as we're just healing. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's do the chamfer. Chamfer there. Okay, this is going to have to be cut out, so this is just going to be a casting from this point forward. So again, I'm going to start at the bottom and go out, and that looks good. Okay, we could do the back side here as well. Okay, it doesn't like something on there. Let's just try the chamfer first. Okay, it liked that okay. Let's check and see if we can do this. Okay, we have something else that's not quite right here. Let's just try that flange. So it's probably the transition here on the back. So let's take a look at that and see maybe what we missed on there and heal that up as well. Okay, we'll try this one more time. And there is something there that it does not like. It's probably where the fillet runs into the edge there. So instead, I'm just going to click on this face, click on this offset page, and offset it by 1/8 of an inch. That's usually what castings will have many places on this size of casting. So that healed it up pretty good. If we want to add a little more, we can, or we could extract the geometry and get a perfect measurement, but that's pretty good for what we're doing there. We just want to see when we're machining that Gibbs is removing material from this surface here. So let's go to the other side here and let's heal up the chamfer, and let's heal up all the holes. All right, again, let's heal this, starting from the bottom. That looks pretty good. And we might have the same issue here on this side. Let's see. Oh, we got to get rid of the chamfer first. And let's try here and here and see if it's going to let us. Yeah, probably not, because probably the fillet overlaps that. So let's just select this surface and we'll add 1/8 of an inch to there as well. So now we have material there. Okay, now the last things that we probably need to do is I want to heal up these holes here, these ports. So again, normally holes you need to start from the bottom. So I'm going to start from the bottom. Let's heal up here and see if it likes it. Yep, that's good. Start this one. Heal. Okay. Now these, we might have to probably heal up this fillet here before we can heal this surface up. So let's try that. Okay, that looks good. So let's heal up to here. Okay, that looks pretty good. On this side now. And here and here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's healed up to the casting level. Now on these, we haven't added the material to the outside here, so I'm going to click on this face and add 1/8 of an inch of material to there. And as you can see, it expanded that by 1/8 of an inch. Same thing over here. And there's going to be material above the top level here because this is our Z0, so I'm going to add material there as well. Okay, so now we should be good with healing this part up. So far, it's good. So we will then, on our next video, show you how to start pulling geometry off and machining it. But before we go, let's show you our actual finished part in the body bag. You can see if I put it in there, you can kind of see it in there. Let's put it back in the body bag for a moment. And let's go to our stock that we just healed up and just click on the whole body, right click, go down to user color of selected, and let's maybe choose kind of a greenish color here. But we want to make it transparent, so I'm going to pick this again. I'm going to slide this bar over about halfway there and click our button there. Yeah, that's a little dark. Let's how about choosing this? That'll be a little bit better. Green. Okay, that looks a little better. Okay, we'll choose green and we'll make it transparent. Okay, now let's bring our part back in. And as you can see, the material left over for the casting and our finished part inside there. So it looks pretty good. So next video will be how to machine this part. Thanks for watching.